Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Chapter number 5, the call to testify that there is nothing deserving of worship in truth except Allah. Allah the Exalted said, قُلْ هَذِهِ سَبِيلِي أَدْعُو إِلَى اللَّهِ عَلَى بَصِيرَةٍ أَنَا وَمَنِ اتَّبَعَنِي وَسُبْحَانَ اللَّهِ وَمَا أَنَا مِنَ الْمُشْرِكِينَ. Say you, O Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, this is my way. I invite unto Allah, that is to the oneness of Allah, Islamic monotheism, with sure knowledge. I and whosoever follows me also must invite others to Allah, that is to the oneness of Allah, Islamic monotheism, with sure knowledge. And glorified and exalted is Allah above all that they associate as partners with Him, and I am not of the polytheists. Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu narrated, أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم لما بعث معاذا إلى اليمن قال له إنك تأتي قوما من أهل الكتاب فليكن أول ما تدعوهم إليه شهادة أن لا إله إلا الله. When Allah's Messenger صلى الله عليه وسلم sent Mu'adh radiallahu anhu to Yemen, he said, You will come upon the people of the book. Let your first act be to call them to testify that there is nothing worthy of worship in truth but Allah. And in another version of this tradition it is said, إِلَىٰ أَنْ يُوَحِّدُوا اللَّهَ فَإِنْهُمْ أَطَاعُوكَ لِذَلِكَ فَأَعْلِمْهُمْ أَنَّ اللَّهَ افْتَرَضَ عَلَيْهِمْ 5 صلوات في كل يوم وليلة فإنهم أطاعوك لذلك فأعلمهم أن الله افترض عليهم صدقة تؤخذ من أغنيائهم فترد على فقرائهم فإنهم أطاعوك لذلك فإياك وكرائم أموالهم واتق دعوة المظلوم فإنه ليس بينها وبين الله حجاب. To single out Allah alone in the worship, that is, actualize oneness, Tawhid of Allah. This is the order of the Prophet to Mu'adh to call these people to this. If they obey you in this, inform them that Allah has prescribed for them to offer 5 prayers, salawat, every day and night. If they obey you in this, then inform them that Allah has imposed upon them the duty of sadaqah, zakah, to be levied from their rich and distributed to the poor. If they obey you in this, then be careful not to take the best of their properties as payment of zakah, and safeguard yourself against the supplication of those who have suffered injustice, because there is no veil between his supplication and Allah. Al-Bukhari and Muslim. Both collectors have also reported that Sahl ibn Sa'd radiallahu anhu said, أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال يوم خيبر لأعطين الراية غدا رجلا يحب الله ورسوله ويحبه الله ورسوله يفتح الله على يديه فبات الناس يدوكون ليلتهم أيهم يعطاها فلما أصبحوا غدوا على رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم كلهم يرجو أن يعطاها فقال أين علي بن أبي طالب فقيل هو يشتكي عينيه فأرسلوا إليه فأتي به فبصق في عينيه ودعا له فبرأ كأن لم يكن به وجع فأعطاه الراية فقال انفذ على رسلك حتى تنزل بساحتهم ثم ادعهم إلى الإسلام وأخبرهم بما يجب عليهم من حق الله تعالى فيه فوالله لأن يهدي الله بك رجلا واحدا خير لك من حمر النعم. On the day of Khaybar, Allah's Messenger ﷺ asserted, "Tomorrow I shall indeed give the flag to a person who loves Allah and His Messenger and is loved by Allah and His Messenger. Allah will grant victory under His leadership." The people spent the night absorbed in discussing as to whom might the flag be given. In the morning they came eagerly to Allah's Messenger ﷺ, each of them hoping to be given the flag. Allah's Messenger ﷺ asked, "Where is Ali ibn Abi Talib?" They replied, "He is suffering from an eye ailment." He was sent for and brought. Allah's Messenger ﷺ then spat in his eyes and prayed for him, whereupon he was cured as if he had no previous pains. Allah's Messenger ﷺ then gave him the flag and said, "Advance with ease and gentleness until you arrive in their midst, then call them to Islam and inform them of their duties to Allah in Islam. By Allah, if He may guide through you a single man to Islam, then it is better for you than the red camels." Important issues of the chapter. It is the way of the followers of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ to call people to Islam. Stress upon sincerity of intention, for many who supposedly call to the truth merely call to themselves. Calling people to Allah with sure knowledge is obligatory. Of the signs of the beauty of Tawhid is its being free of any blasphemy towards Allah. The ugliness of shirk is that it vilifies Allah. Of the most important issues of the chapter is that a Muslim must and should remain aloof from polytheists in order to not become like them, even if he does not himself commit shirk. Having Tawhid and calling towards it is the foremost obligation. We must first begin with Tawhid before everything, even Salat. The meaning of singling out Allah alone in worship and being sincere in His oneness is the meaning of the Shahada, La Ilaha illAllah. Among the people of the scriptures are some who either have no knowledge of Tawhid, or if they do, they don't follow it accordingly. Stress on teaching step by step. The most important issues must be explained first. How to spend zakah, obligatory charity. The scholar learned must try to clear away misunderstandings of the learner. The best properties of people must not be taken for zakah, obligatory charity. Beware of the supplication of the oppressed. We are informed that there is no barrier to the supplication of the oppressed one to be accepted. Even Ibn Rajab, he mentioned in Fath al-Bari, his explanation of Sahih al-Bukhari, that there was a people who were disbelievers, who called upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at a time where the Muslims had surrounded them in one of their castles, and they asked Allah for water, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent a cloud for rain, and he mentions it in the book of Ibn Abi Dunya, and so the Muslims left that castle. And there's a hadith in Sahih al-Bukhari where a woman, she was oppressed, and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, she helped her by sending a bird with the thing that they accused her of stealing, and it saved her from being accused of stealing wrongfully by this thing. And so Ibn Rajab commented by saying that it is possible for the disbeliever to have certain abnormal or things beyond the normal things happen to them if they're in a state of oppression or so forth, and if they are in a time where they are oppressed, if they call upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then also it is possible that Allah answers their dua as well. So that's a comment on that statement where Shaykh Muhammad bin Al-Wahhab said, "We are informed that there is no barrier to the supplication of the oppressed one to be accepted." And that Ibn Rajab says this is even for the more so the believer, but also the disbeliever. And it does not mean he's on truth or anything. It just means that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the most just and the most wise, helps him in such a situation when he calls upon Allah. The afflictions, hardship, hunger, and epidemics suffered by the head of all the prophets and the best of those close to Allah Ta'ala are nothing but exact evidences of Tawhid. The Prophet's assertion, "I shall indeed give the flag," is a sign from among the signs of prophethood. Applying spit to the eyes of Ali radiallahu anhu and the subsequent cure he received is another sign of the prophethood. The superiority of Ali radiallahu anhu. The merits and virtues of the companions radiallahu anhu, that they kept speculating among themselves throughout the night as to whom the flag might be handed over to, and their preoccupation with it over the news of lasting victory. SubhanAllah. That shows their priorities. May Allah be pleased with them. They were more concerned about going to Jannah and being loved by Allah and His Messenger than worldly victories. An illustration of the faith in Qadar, how the predetermined occurs to those who do not seek it, and denial to those who wished it all along the night. The manner of the Prophet's advice to Ali radiallahu anhu: go to the people with ease and gentleness. Calling to Islam before waging war. Legitimacy of fighting with those who were previously called to Islam but rejected it. Preaching Islam with wisdom as evidenced in his sallallahu alaihi wasallam words, inform them of the obligations upon them. Recognizing the duty to Allah in Islam. The reward of a person by whose hand a single man is guided. To swear in support of a juristic verdict. Another note from the previous lesson on the matter of ruqyah was that a person doing ruqyah to himself does not remove him from possibly, inshallah, by the mercy of Allah, being of the 70,000 that enter Jannah without reckoning or punishment, because the hadith said yastarqoon, they do not ask for ruqyah. So asking for ruqyah from another is what violates that hadith and makes a person's level lesser in that. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us guidance and steadfastness upon Tawhid until we meet. Alhamdulilah.